All right. Welcome, everyone. I know you guys on the screen aren't used to seeing me in here lately, but here we are.
Who are you?
I know, right?
Who let this imposter in?
Yeah, it's been great. I was actually backstage for like almost 10 minutes, just sitting there listening to you guys. I texted Josh. And,
I didn't even see you. I didn't see you. You were
Yeah.
like down on
I
the
was
He,
like,
stool.
okay,
he didn't
all right.
recognize you. He just didn't recognize you.
Yeah, hopefully, hi everybody, we're here. All right, so I'm gonna turn it over to the VP because I did not make our board meeting yesterday. Again, sorry about that. So, Josh, you want to kick us off with the lineup for tonight's live stream?
Absolutely, yeah. We're gonna, talk about a little bit of barrel pick stuff right up front, as we oftentimes do. And by the way, I think everybody at this point should have their Nashville Barrel Company picks, which was the last pick for our first year of membership. And go ahead and pour that up if you have it and have it open. We are going to do a little tasting at the end once we finish up everything here. But then also, kind of just to put a bullet on that, or a point on that, the fact that we did finish up a very successful first year. I think somebody posted that photo in the Discord of all the barrel picks, and they got the 4-gate as well. And just seeing that lineup of all the picks on the table was just so cool to see. So I'm blanking on who shared that because it's been a whirlwind around here lately, but that was an awesome photo, and thank you for sharing that. And then we're already off to a start for the next year. If you guys have been on Discord, we have a dark arts pick. It's already been scheduled for, it'll be happening the day after our next live stream in March. So yeah, EJ saying it was him. So yeah, awesome picture, awesome lineup, and awesome constraint to not have those open.
March 29th, Josh, a month from tonight.
Yes. So, yep. And our next live stream will be March 28th. And several of us will have a crew live streaming from the hotel. Seems to be the MO for some of these picks, but that'll be happening. We're really looking forward to that. And then again, we talked about it last live stream, but we've got a lot of stuff in the works as far as the barrel picks that we are going to have this year, as far as what we're targeting and everything. So always let us know if there's something you want us to look into targeting. There's obviously a lot of logistics that go into making barrel picks happen, and what we can get access to and when we can get access to it. But we're always all ears for you guys. And that's it on the barrel pick news. And again, pour up your Nashville Barrel Company if you've got it around you and can so enjoy. And I'll pitch it over to Lance for the bottle announcements for the charity year-end annual event.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Cheers to the barrel pick team on the NBC pick. It's ridiculous. It's so good. And I think everyone will be very happy as that being a replacement to 4-gate, because honestly, Ben sent me a sample of the 4-gate, and I've had them back to back, and for double the price, I mean, it's ridiculous. I would bet 80% of our members would pick the Nashville Barrel Company in a blind. And I'm going to do a blind. What'd you say?
Oh, it's so good. I mean,
it's really good.
I can't believe, compared to, there's a lot of members that are part of the Stuff and Whiskey Club and got Swag Junior last year. And I mean, it's unbelievable how it compares.
Yeah, I'm going to be tasting all of them blind after our live stream on the channel. I'm going to taste our first 4, my last 4, and then I'm going to do the short barrel, the Founders Pick, the Nashville Barrel Company, and the 4-gate in a 4-way blind to see which one I like best, because I can't trust my biases. I have to do them blind. But when
you do the blind, Lance, when you do the blind, don't even think about what they are. I know
it's so hard. It's so hard. I know. But honestly, when you taste the 4-gate and the NBC pick back to back, they are both so delicious. But that NBC pick, I think most people would pick it over the 4-gate. I really do. It's fantastic. So yeah, great job to the pick team on that. That's incredible. I'm sad I had to miss that one, but you guys did amazing.
And we can tell that story later when we get into the tasting. It's a fun way that the day shook out for that. We can talk about it.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'm sure everybody'd love to hear it. As far as the allocations for this month, I don't have much to report to you guys other than it's the beginning of a new year, so allocations aren't great, but we did get a Larceny barrel proof, a Bernheim barrel proof, and a Caribou for I guess I haven't really clarified. I guess this will be, is this the start of next year's, or is this going in the year-end event raffle? Will this be
is this technically February's allocation for us then?
Yeah.
So then that should be in still this one coming up, and starting in March would be for year 2.
Year. Okay. So I think that's all I've got.
Right? Those are logistics guys. Is that right or is that not right?
Well,
we started late March.
So technically it's right if you want to do it in a 12-month cycle. I think just for ease, if you do that, you're going to sit on March's bottles for a year and a half before you get them.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
So
July to July.
I would suggest anything we get before the annual event, or as close to it as Kim is comfortable, we put in this year. And then after the event, start over, and we'll have a full year of stuff for next year's event. Start doing it, make the event the start and the stop.
Yeah, and to that point, let me quickly add, because I wasn't on the call yesterday, so I didn't get to talk about this, but for those of you that need to pick up bottles, I'm letting those sit at A1 for another 2 weeks, because that'll be our 3 weeks. If you have bottles to pick up at my house, pick them up. I am moving everything to the storage unit. I'm going to do inventory. And then if you haven't picked your bottle up, I'm saying we just throw it in the year-end event thing. We haven't talked about that, but we can't hold bottles forever for you guys. So,
and it's clear in the bylaws. If you haven't picked it up, if you elect to pick it up and you haven't in 3 weeks, it's surrendered to the group for other purposes.
And if you're waiting to pick it up and you don't have intent, or if you're on the list to pick up and you don't intend to pick it up and you would rather it just go into the end of the year, the annual event, just let us know. That way we're not kind of hanging on in this ether of not knowing what's happening with it.
Yep.
And I haven't even told you guys, because I haven't done the inventory, but there is a lot of extra makers bottles in my garage. Like,
is there?
I wouldn't be surprised if we got a case or so more than we thought we did. It's a lot. So just throw it out there. We may have some extra makers bottles in the year-end raffle.
Fruitgate was pretty good.
Yeah,
it was. I saw Earl posting about it on Discord earlier today, just saying how much he was loving the nose. That pick is so good. It might be honestly, it's probably my favorite makers pick I've ever had, personally speaking.
Awesome.
All right, good stuff, guys. We've got some what I would consider to be pretty big news for the future of the organization, as far as the way we're going to handle things for our charities after the annual event leading into the second year. So I'm going to turn it over to Bill, our logistics officer, and let him talk us through the way we're going to approach that process.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Josh. So there's been questions in Discord, and rightfully so, about the future of charities. Of course, we're supporting the original 4 charities that were set up with the founding of Barrels for Hope through the annual event coming up this summer. But we need a process to then evaluate what the charities will be for the following year, which would be the second half of this year through the annual event in 2025. And we met as a board yesterday and came to some agreement around how we will do that. And we're going to twofold. One, we're going to seek nominations from all Barrels for Hope members for the charities that you would be interested in us supporting. Of course, we can pick the same 4. We don't have to change, but we're also not obligated to stick with the same 4 either. So everybody will have an opportunity to create a nomination. There'll be some guidelines. You're going to have to submit some information about the charity. It has to be a qualified charity. It's a 501c3. There'll be a Google form that you'll have to fill out some basic information if you have a charity you're interested in being part of that group. You'll see that come out in a Patreon post sometime in the next week or so. As part of that post, you're also going to see that we're going to establish a committee that will evaluate those nominations. This committee is going to be co-chaired by 2 board members, Josh and Reggie. And in addition to Josh and Reggie, we're going to pick 3 to 5 additional members, non-board members from membership that are willing to volunteer and participate in the committee to evaluate the nominations. That committee's job will be to whittle it down to a recommended set of charities for next year and present that recommendation to this board for final vote and approval. This will all culminate at the annual event in Louisville when, after we present checks to the 4 charities for this year, we'll make an announcement of the charities that we'll be supporting for the following year. And the clock for that support essentially starts right after the event with future dues and bottle picks and other events that we do. So that's really the process. Look for a Patreon email sometime in the next week or so. Think about if there's a charity you want to nominate. Think about if you're interested in volunteering for the committee to evaluate those. I'm expecting we're going to get more than 3 to 5 volunteers. So the board will go through a process of looking through the volunteer list. We really do want to keep it to 3 to 5. Nothing slows the process down than making a committee too large. So we're going to keep it to that 5 to 7 total with 2 board members. But it's an opportunity for some non-board members to get involved. And it's a chance to evaluate our charitable process and make sure we have a great set of charities for the following year. So more to come, but that's more or less the process that we've laid out.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's exciting. Hope everybody's excited for that going forward, because that's going to get more people involved and keep us going in a good direction. That's awesome.
What was that little thumbprint bubble? How'd that happen? Is that new?
Yeah.
I don't know. Somehow I don't know how that happens. Like if you move,
thumbs up.
Yeah, I don't know. Movement of my hands.
It must be a camera setting. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that backstage, Bill. Maybe there's some type of Sony update that's going on over there.
No, because it happened during the board meeting yesterday, and I was upstairs in my office. So.
Oh, did it really?
Huh. Yeah, I don't know.
Really interesting. Maybe it's a new StreamYard feature or something.
Artificial intelligence just thinks I'm a brilliant speaker.
Yeah, you're the only one that's gotten it yet. So
yeah,
that must be the case. Yeah, no, that's a perfect synopsis. And this was just a fantastic recommendation to go this route and get you guys a little bit more involved in this. And again, just getting recommendations in from y'all on, everything we can do to make sure that we're doing our due diligence to get you guys involved and to make sure that we're supporting the charities that everyone cares about. This, again, will start very soon. If you are part of the committee, we almost need you to be on the Discord. So we know that some people aren't on the Discord or they don't really mess around with Discord. It's going to be the way where we communicate. So myself and Reggie have volunteered to be the sitting board members as part of this, but we're going to create a little private channel for us and the people that are selected that volunteer for this. And that way we can keep everything in one space along with everything else. And we can discuss things to be submitted. So yeah, really, really exciting stuff. Who recommended that during the board meeting last night?
Bill
recommended what? The committee idea?
The committee. Yeah, that was you, right, Bill?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a great idea.
Just brilliant. This is why we have smart people helping out on this. So thank you very much for that, Bill. All right. I think next up is Kim with the annual event updates, additional information, and everything else.
Yeah, just a few updates this month. So we do have a few event tickets still available. As it happens, a few people have had to drop out for conflicts. So we have a few tickets left, but not many, and we are capped at 100. So if you have not got your ticket yet and you want to come, please make sure to do that. If you don't still have the link to the form, email me at kim@barrelsforhope.com and I'll get you set up. For those of you who have purchased tickets and you are on the payment plan, please make sure that you've paid for your February installment. Today's the last day of February, so we're looking to get all of those payments in. The 2 add-on events for Friday, the Pursuit excursion is sold out. However, again, there may be things that happen where someone can't attend. So anyone else who wants to sign up, we will maintain a wait list in the order that you sign up. There are still 4 cocktail class tickets available for anyone who wants to do that. Again, that will be on Friday, and that will be very conveniently located at the Hyatt. For those of you who have signed up for an add-on event Friday and haven't paid for your ticket, please do that as well.
Perfect.
The last thing I had on the, oh, sorry, go ahead, Josh.
I was going to say, to piggyback on that, for the cocktail class, Aaron and I will be in that class. Come sip some cocktails with us. We've got 4 tickets left. If you're coming with a significant other, go ahead and just make their day. Get the cocktail class tickets. Come hang out with Aaron and I. Let's have a good time. And also, Kim, do you want to remind people what is included in the cocktail class? You get 3 cocktails. Sure. We learned how to make 2. You do it.
Yep. So you'll get a welcome cocktail with some light bites. You'll learn how to make 2 easy cocktails, easy, fun, popular bourbon whiskey cocktails that you'll be able to make at home. And you'll also get to take home with you one of our Barrels for Hope rocks glasses.
Included in the cost of the ticket, which is very reasonable at $40. 3 cocktails and a glass, plus some small bites for $40.
Yeah.
Come on. I can't go anywhere in Nashville and get 2 cocktails for $40.
Kim, I have a question from a member,
yes.
Also known as my wife. And I should have just asked you this a long time ago, but she's not a bourbon fan. Are you guys doing any cocktails that aren't bourbon or whiskey related?
No.
Okay.
But let me take a note of that and see what I can do special for her.
Okay. Because my aunt is going to that also, and she was wondering the same thing. But so I said, I'll suck it up and drink some bourbon.
Hey, cocktails are the avenue into sipping neat. Like that's true. That's true.
But if you know my wife, she is the biggest wimp when it comes to alcohol. So I told her we'll just get her some what is that? Boone's County or whatever that is. Get her some bottles of that.
Boone's Farm.
Boone's Farm. That's it.
The last quick update on the annual event, because a few people have asked me offline if people are coming in on Thursday and doing anything Thursday night. I do know that there are some people that are planning to come in on Thursday. I will be there on Thursday and have said that I will host a bottle share for anyone who's interested and in Louisville on Thursday night.
Which makes me want to come into town on Thursday night. I can't because of work stuff, but yeah, I really want to be there Thursday night.
Well, I think I can pull that off.
Yeah, I might change my plans.
Yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, really exciting stuff, guys. Not a ton of huge updates other than the committee, which again, be on the lookout for that. Things are rolling. We opened, Lance can speak to this. Do you remember the exact date we opened membership? Sometime in February last year.
Joe just tagged me in the video I did on our launch date. I think it was February. Late. Yeah, I think it was late February.
Yeah,
if I remember. I think we're like just at a year, which is
right.
Awesome. Because I think this is like almost 2 years exactly since my wife was diagnosed with cancer. So her whole treatment was like a year, and then we started Barrels for Hope right after that. So yeah, it had to be right then.
And so we've had a lot of you guys have been with us for a year, and you've been there through. Let's be honest. You've been there through the growing pains. There was kind of getting our sea legs underneath us and dealing with some of the challenges that ultimately get thrown your way when you do barrel picks. And we just appreciate the heck out of each and every one of you guys for the long-term support, but we know we have some new people that have signed up as well as people's priorities and life changes and everything. And we just can't thank each and every one of you guys enough for being a part of this organization, knowing that the annual event and all the hard work that Kim has put into this, which again, guys, we got to give it up for Kim in the chat. She is incredible. And this year-end event is going to be something to be a part of that is going to go down in the books. So, it's just amazing. It's amazing to see it all come together a year later when, was it December, Lance? Prior to that you called me and you're like, hey, what about this idea?
Yeah.
And then I called Joe and
then you called me in like late December, early January. And I'm like, at first I'm like, I don't know about this. And then we started talking about it more. And I'm like, we might have something here.
Yeah. And honestly, the keyboard here has been amazing, having Dan part of the picks and just everything the core has done. But the board expansion and all the work that Kim and Bill and Reggie have done behind the scenes, this thing, I mean, let's be honest, this thing was not going to work if it hadn't been for them. It's really awesome to have such a great team behind the scenes that is putting in the work to make this thing work so well. And we hope it is, we hope it is. But if there's anything that ever pops up, please let us know. With that said, I mean, I think it's only prudent that we celebrate a year here on our February live stream with our last pick of the year for anybody that's got the Nashville Barrel Company pick. If you've got it, pour it up.
I literally walked in the door right before I logged on. I gotta go find it. Hang on. I'm gonna go find it.
Go find it.
Find it, Joe.
127.2 proof, 7.5 years old. MGP, but not your mama's MGP. This is a little bit different. And look at Lance, fancy with that second camera angle.
Josh, that'd be a cool sticker name, man. Not your mama's MGP.
There you go. But yeah, this I can say I was fortunate enough to be on the pick. Joe was on the pick and Kim was on the pick. So we've got a few people that are a part of that can speak to it. And then I know we've got some people here from the community that were part of the pick as well. So if you were part of it, definitely let us know what you think and we'll check comments. Look at that. See, here's the biggest problem. Nashville Barrel bottles stuff on site. So the bottle that I have doesn't have that beautiful Barrels for Hope sticker on it like Lance's bottle has. Look at that. It looks so good on the bottle.
It fit perfect.
It's so good. So yeah, I'm gonna need to get one of those stickers from you, Lance.
Hey, well, I'll bring extra stickers to the Dark Arts pick, which I saw Jeffrey Wax Jeffrey Wax gonna help us pick that, which is an awesome palette to have on that pick.
Heck yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, if this makes it to them, I suspect that it will because I'm pretty precious and sentimental about things like this. But yeah, man, it's good.
The nose on that's amazing.
And Jeffrey,
I happen to know you have more than one bottle of NBC bourbon around the house.
I've got a few Nashville Barrel Company bottles around the house. More than any other thing in this house is Nashville Barrel. So Jeffrey did ask. Whack, yes, it is the 21% rye. There it is.
And I've been waiting to open it too. So I haven't opened it.
There we go. No better occasion than this.
Oh, yeah.
So as we get into this, guys, and we typically do videos for picks, but we didn't do a video. We did we did a video for the NBC pick, but it was more about the pick process. That's right. We did do a video for that. But the video only tells so much. So figured, it was going to be a fairly short stream tonight, but a good space to let you guys know how the pick went. So
do you want to talk about the controversy?
Oh, we'll talk about it.
Yeah. Tell us about it. Let's hear it.
So, I mean, first off, NBC is they did what they do, which is work quick and put really good whiskey in our hands to choose from, because we really wanted to make sure that we could pull this off and get this bottle to you guys.
Josh, you got to back up. Josh for weeks was hounding them, saying, "You better put your best stuff out. Like,
Yeah.
we need your absolute best barrels." Like, and in the day we're there, they're like, "Man, you're pulling out the good stuff, right? Like, we know you know which barrels to pull out," and they did.
What'd they do? Pull out something filled with a root beer float? Because that's what this thing is. Good Lord.
It's funny. So Terry in the chat saying the NBC is so good. The first night it was all rum, which is so funny you say that, because there are times where I smell this and I get somewhat of a Foursquare rum, like high-end pappy of rum, sipping rum nose on it. It's just so rich and molassesy, and I just love it. But I think if memory serves me correctly, and Joe can check me on this, but we had 12 people in on the pick team.
Oh, it was a big pick team.
It was a big pick team, which Nashville Barrel bent some rules and let us have some extra people on that, just because we wanted to bring more people along for the experience. And then from that point, we got in there and we started tasting through things. And the first two barrels were very good barrels, but we knew, I think everybody knew tasting those first two that they weren't the ones. And I've noticed a trend, having picked several things at NBC before, is like you kind of get, they kind of shoot where you're going to go, you're either going to go this way or that way. And they're going to hit you one way or another, but the other punch isn't going to quite land. And that's exactly what happened here. Barrel 1 and 2, we all loved them, but we all pretty much knew right away. We got into barrel 3 and 4, and it was a problem because they were both phenomenal. And I mean, I don't know how much
we were going to throw down. There was going to be a fight. We were going to.
I don't know how much. There was going to be a lot of conjecture, and it really came down to, I believe it was 2 votes that could have either pushed it one way or the other, and I was one of them. But we had to blind the whole group on it.
Yeah, we were basically 50-50, and then had to blind it, and we had 2 people change on the blind to select this one.
Wow. Earl just said, is anyone grabbing any watermelon bubble gum on the NBC nose? And I know you're talking about those big blocks of, what is it, Hubba Bubba? And you said that, and I can get it. And I love that. I've never gotten that note on any whiskey before.
So
you cannot convince me that these aren't double barreled.
Well, we can. I'll talk.
No,
they are.
Okay.
I don't know anything, so I am at full liberty of speculating on this, and I will tell you exactly what I think. If you want to,
these have.
Josh and I were speculating a lot one day. I mean, we were on the phone for probably a good half hour, talking nothing except for barreling of whiskey and NBC for like half an hour.
Yeah. Because somebody has to explain why this is the way that it is.
It's double barreled. It tastes double oaked, but not overdone. It's a real. They do it amazing. Is what they do. It's just enough to give it those like strong vanilla root beer kind of marshmallowy notes. Man, it's good.
So, and now what's interesting in the pick is it was so close between barrel 3 and 4 that when we actually did finally decide on a barrel after doing 1 or maybe even 2 blinds, Josh went to, I think, James, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he was like, dude, the barrel we didn't pick, because we had a Stuff and Whiskey MVP pick that afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, you got to put that barrel we didn't pick in the next pick. I don't care what else you put with that barrel, but you got to put it. And then in the next pick, the afternoon, with a whole new group of people almost, we ended up picking that barrel.
Unanimously.
If
I'm not mistaken. The funny thing is that the pick for that afternoon was going to be totally different. Like the NBC pick for Barrels for Hope was set up with just the expectation of, we need your best stuff. For the Stuff and Whiskey MVP pick in the afternoon, that pick was set up as, we picked 2 Kentucky sourced bourbons last year. We want to run that back. Please give us your best 4 Kentucky bourbons this year. And that's what they had set up. And after tasting this and the other one, and this one winning out, and ultimately myself and I think Jeff had to be blinded on the second. Like, we were the 2 swing votes. Everybody else knew where they landed on this or the other one. Jeff and I were both on the fence. We both were blinded and both selected this. And I think that's a big proof point difference. It just has a saturation that proof really drives home. But the other one was so good. I'm like, James, look, kick one of those Kentucky barrels out and put this in. I just want to see what happens. And this is what happened. Is verification that they actually did roll out their best stuff for us for the Barrels for Hope pick, because this was the other one wasn't even going to be in the afternoon pick, only because I asked them to put it in there. Was it in there? So just, again, huge testament to Nashville Barrel for making some of their best barrels available to us. And for those who are not local to Nashville or aren't plugged in, this run of barrels that this is from, this is 3203. Barrel number 3203, and the 32, 33, and 3400 series of barrels is becoming the stuff of local legend, and people are losing their mind over these things. They're calling them the Super Sevens. So yeah, we got a good one, guys. And if you're tasting it, you know we did.
Well, Kim, what did you think about the 2 picks? Because you were on both of them.
I think they're both fantastic. And I will say, going back to them, I've gone back to back with them a few times since then just to compare. And depending on the day, I pick one or the other.
Yeah.
I mean, they're
quite
both
different.
phenomenal. Yeah.
They're quite different. And so it is that.
But they
you
both
get really
have that. They both have that something special with a whiskey where it has that like concentration and kind of like heavy bodiness to it. They both have that something where you're like, okay, this is a special whiskey. This isn't just something normal off the shelf.
Are they both the MGP 21% rye?
Mm-hmm. And both from the
they
same
both
run, but just
Oh.
totally different, which is what had the group so split. It wasn't like we were comparing 2 things that were very similar and one was clearly better than the other. They were just, I mean,
Different.
they're both the same whiskey, same barrel type,
Yeah.
same age and everything, but just, I mean, this is 127 proof, and it just, boy,
I mean, we see that on every barrel pick, though, how the same
Yeah.
whiskey and the same barrel can be wildly different.
yeah.
That's cool. Very cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. And you know, going into this next year again, you know, we're going to try to bring as many of you guys on barrel picks as we possibly can. And it's really cool when you can do a barrel pick and see how the same whiskey can vary just in 2 different barrels, even if they've been aged side by side.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And
really cool.
Josh, one quick comment on that, by the way. You want to guarantee going on a barrel pick this next year, buy one of the few tickets that are left for the annual event, because we will be doing a barrel pick at
That's
Starlight.
right. That's right.
Our organization's largest barrel pick that we will probably ever do, depending on what happens with next year's or the year 2 event. So
Yeah. So when we started this, we hope to get 12 to 15 of you on a barrel pick. And in fact, we're going to get 100 and so on a barrel pick. So we really overshot our goal there.
Absolutely. So yeah, it's good to see in the chat people are loving the NBC pick. Yeah, I mean it's just so cool, and I can't wait to see what we come up with this year as far as what picks we're able to secure for you guys. And you know, all credit to Lance for bringing up the Dark Arts pick. I hadn't even heard of Dark Arts. Lance is like, hey guys, what about this? And then a week later, the Bourbon Junkies are like, hey, we're doing a Dark Arts pick. And I'm like, dang, Lance is he is on it, man. He is ahead of the game.
Yeah, actually, that was over a month. That was a while ago, because Bill had said the same thing. He's like, I've never heard of Dark Arts, and Narav and I had because one of the distributors we work really close with, his name's Rusty. He works for like Wilderness Trail, or sells Wilderness Trail, and Macaulay came from Wilderness Trail, so we had heard about it, and I was kind of like, you know, at first I was like, oh great, another finishing company, you know, another finishing, non-distilling, producing company. But the Narav got a few barrels of it, and I was like, damn, this stuff is good. as long as we don't go with the Amberana, which is what everyone wants. We'll see.
Hey,
We'll
Lance,
see.
if you and I are on that pick, we cannot. We're never going to pick one.
I think there's a lot, and I was listening to the board meeting this morning, and I think there's a lot of things that we might be able to do. I'm not positive. The variance in cost is pretty big because they finished their stuff in such wild things. So I mean, I don't think anything's off the table. If we got one big barrel, if we got two small barrels, if we blended barrels, I have no idea. We'll just have to see what Macaulay will let us do when we get there. But it's going to be a wild pick regardless, because the stuff they're finishing things in is stuff I've never heard of. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think the fact that the finishing that they can do, and the Macaulay, I mean, I think we said this on the Discord, but he used to be at Wilderness Trail and run their barrel pick program. And this guy is a mad scientist in every sense of the word. And so it's going to be a heck of a fun experience doing the pick. And then I can't wait to see what we come up with, because they're okay with kind of pushing the boundaries. And, I think from what I've gathered, we're going to go in there and we're not leaving until we get something that's absolutely amazing for y'all.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm trying to work some things where I help out one of the restaurants that distributes some of the stuff to help us get even better barrels. And so we're trying to do our part to get us the best barrels possible. So.
Heck yeah. All right. Well, I think that's it, guys. If you have any questions, definitely let us know. This is kind of the post-update, post-tasting Q&A section where we'll just kind of hang out with you guys a little bit and answer anything.
Anthony had a question there for you, Josh, right there about the series of the barrels. Yeah.
So 3294 is that was a barrel picked by Lauren Simpson, which is kind of he actually works at National Barrel Company. But yeah, great guy, great palate, and that is part of that run. It's the 3200 to 3400 series. I haven't tasted that bottle yet, but I will be tasting it soon because a friend has one and looking forward to trying it. Based on what he says, we got some better stuff. And I'll leave it at that. But it's still really good.
So Dan, how many people can you fit in your car?
Yeah, Alabama Football Podcast says, can we have an event where we get to taste whiskey in Dan's car? Just driveway sipping.
I think we got some shirts, and we got to do some shirts or a barrel pick sticker or something with Dan in his car. We can come up with something.
Bill always says the witness protection.
Witness protection program.
Yeah,
that's all right. I don't know if you saw up a little ways. There was a comment. Someone who commented it. Someone wanted to take a Windex cleaner or something to my camera.
I did see that. That was awesome.
You look very fuzzy.
Well, it's because I was so late getting home today that I didn't get to do my normal setup. So it's just the integrated camera with the laptop. I don't have my actual camera.
You would never convince us that you were late.
Hey, I was actually sitting backstage for like 8 or 10 minutes before I got here on time, but big surprise, I had other work stuff to do after work. So
I see Brian Miller.
12 work days. 12 work days left, Bill. So I'm almost done. 12 days left.
Not that you're counting them down or anything.
Right.
Because I know 2 days ago I think you said 14.
14. Yeah. I got the countdown going.
You're clearly counting.
Joe, is that when you officially retire?
Yeah. So I have 12 work days left for the federal government, and I'll be completely retired from federal service all the way. So
that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law retires in May. So how long? So has it been? How many years did you put in?
So I retired military 20 years, and then federal service I'll have 19 years.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, and there was a little bit overlap. So I've got total like continuously 24 years with the Air Force, but because there was overlap and buying time back. So it's funny how the government jobs work, but it's all right.
Lots of congrats in the chat for you. I saw that.
Yeah,
Brian,
my brother-in-law has told me he's retiring like 4 times, and it always moved. Is that what you did too?
Yeah. Well, so it's funny. I retired from the Air Force out of the uniform in 21 on Sunday of drill. Came back Monday to work, same office, same desk, and civilian clothes, and I've been in a civilian status since then, doing the same thing. And then I was able to buy back all my military service time towards my federal service time as a civilian. So now I'm doing that retirement, and and then the distillery gig. So
awesome.
It's gonna be fun. Yeah. Oh, now Josh is getting fuzzy. Oh, there you go. He's messing with his camera.
I was getting fuzzy.
Yeah, you blew it up for a while.
Oh, that might have just been an internet issue on my end. That should not be the case. With
Josh is like, I know how to do this stuff. I'm never fuzzy.
Oh, I thought you were messing with your camera.
No. I'm checking chat. I saw that Brian Miller said that I'm assuming he's just now tasting it for the first time. He said, this one's better than Sunday brunch. Wow. Yeah, you can see if those are the two picks
hang on.
you're picking from.
Time out. You said it was better than Sunday brunch?
That's what he said. I mean, we did pick it over that as a group.
Yeah. Well,
and you were very adamant about the dot, which was this.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's
about the dot on the second one.
Boy, it's kind of like rolling around there, Joe.
Hey, I'm telling you, Josh and I, it's funny when we're doing like blind flight nights and stuff, our palettes are pretty well matched up. But when we go on barrel picks, we're like opposite sides for some reason. I don't know why.
Hey, Joe, did you taste the Middle West pick though?
No, not yet. I haven't even gotten to get into that yet.
Dang. Let's just say we were right on that. You and I were right on that.
Oh, I know we were right. I
don't know about that. I don't know. Here's the thing with this.
I'm just saying that's a troll Bill. That's the only reason I'm doing that.
Well, I was on the other one too, but with this one and the other NBC and the 2 Middle West picks, the thing is that there's not a wrong choice. It's
there really isn't.
It's so like good. Here's 2 incredible barrels of whiskey. The only reason we're not picking both of them is because we can't.
Right.
You know?
Oh, I would have loved to have had the other one also. Yeah.
Yeah.
We did get the other NBC one, but for the separate and apart, but for the Middle West, I would have loved to have gotten that other one, man. It was so good, but it did have it was a little rowdy. It was a little rowdy, but it had a ton of flavor. And I think that, what I have seen about this what I've seen about the Middle West pick that continues to surprise people that try it is just how elegant it is. The mouthfeel, the balance, and just even with all that, it's not flat. It's dynamic.
I'm telling you, and that's Ohio distillate, man. That's Ohio right there for you. Coming out strong.
Yeah. Earl is asking, what other NBC bottle did I pour earlier? So one was, I have a couple more here. So this is Dusty Dan, the man right down here below me, picked this last Friday, and this is dropping on his Patreon. Not to make an outside plug, but I'm going to outside plug Dan.
How'd that go, Dusty?
It was a unanimous pick. So I think we had 11 people on, Josh included, and that was it was unanimous amongst everything. There was a couple good barrels in there, but nothing that really compared to that one. So
and that pick, that was from the same run that this is from.
Yeah.
That the second barrel that we didn't pick that we ended up picking that we were split on, like this run of barrels is absolutely fantastic. So if you like this one and you want more of this run of barrels, Dusty Dan is dropping out on his Patreon. And then we were at NBC, and I know the guys, and I was talking to them, and they're like, "Hey, you and Dan, come over here real quick." And they're like, "Let's go over here on the other side, away from the barrel pick experience." And James pulled us over there, the barrel pick manager there, and he's like, "Hey, I got another barrel over here that it's not going to yield as much as we normally get out of our barrel picks, but if you guys wanted to taste it, see if you wanted to add that on, then you can." And of course, we're like, "Well, I mean, we have to taste it, right?" So the other pick that we did was also from that same run of barrels, 3406, and we ended up grabbing that second one as well. And it's funny. So now I've got 4 barrel picks that I was in attendance for out of that run. And they're all so different. They're all so good. They're just a man. I mean, I don't know what I would prefer to drink for the price than this stuff, which is probably why it's pretty much what I drink when I'm not doing channel stuff. So
which is funny because I remember when Nashville Barrel Company hit the scene, everybody bitched about how expensive it was, and now it's like, really?
And you know what?
Exactly right.
I feel like the breaking point was when Jason and Scott Mash and Journey got the Houdini pick. And anybody, I know we've got a lot of people, I know a lot of familiar names, and those were when the MGP barrels were just turning 6 years old. And that really opened people's eyes to how different things can be out of there. And then now not only a good pick, but maybe one of the best named picks ever. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I loved that name.
And then last year we had about this time last year, they had a run of barrels that was a 5-year Kentucky bourbon, unknown source, that a lot of people speculated was Buffalo Trace. It was like a 31 barrel run that just people were going bananas over, and for good reason. We were lucky enough, Joe and I picked one together, and then I picked one with ADHD whiskey, and those are some of my favorite bourbons I've ever had. And then now here we are a year later, and the 1500s are gone from Kentucky, but this 7.5 year run of MGP barrels that they have are it's just mind bending that you can get something this good for $100. I mean, this is better than so many things out there.
Oh, better than a lot of things people are paying secondary for. That's for sure.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
I messaged Narav because he had 2 in the 1500 series, which I loved and were some of my favorite picks ever. In fact, it was probably my favorite pick A1 did last year, and I blinded it against the one you guys, our Barrels for Hope one. And I messaged him. I'm like, "Hey, I don't want to ruin our relationship, but this kills your." And he's like, "Bullshit." And I'm like, "I'm telling you, it does."
Yeah, I mean, so the pick that Josh and I did together, and I don't know if he's shown everyone the sticker yet, but that one is definitely a little more brighter than the one that I did. I feel like the one that I did is a little more on the darker side, like dark kind of cherry cola. A little bit of coffee, some chocolate in there. Whereas the one that Josh and I did, that we split, definitely feels a little more brighter. Josh, what do you think?
Yeah, I would say that the Dusty Dan pick is like, it leads with caramel, and then that gives way to cherry cola, and then you've got that kind of that little bit of like a beautiful dark chocolate kind of like coffee type of thing on the back end. That's just absolutely wonderful, and they're both right at the same proof point. And I think that the Dusty's pick has a little bit more power to it than the second barrel that we picked that we're splitting. That one will be available either through Dusty's Patreon or the Stuff and Whiskey Patreon. And then that one it's like vanilla cream soda, and it hits the front of the palate just nice and easy, insanely easy for 120 proof. It's a absolutely dangerous bottle of whiskey, and then the finish ramps up and it just sticks around. Dusty's, you can see his sticker here is the D team. And funny enough, the sample that we picked was sample D of the flight.
Yeah.
And then we don't have the stickers in yet for the pick that the second barrel, but you guys can see that right there. It's Stuff and Whiskey, but then on the chest there is the Dusty Dan's whiskey review. And we're calling that one Kryptonite because Nashville Barrel offered that second barrel, and that's my kryptonite. We couldn't say no.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah,
I swear he said that those barrels were sitting on top of one another originally.
Yeah, I believe it.
So, and you see the difference in flavor just from, sitting on top of one another. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, so I'm seeing Terry ask if Lance is that the Titans pipe pick. And that's correct,
yeah, it is. It was the Titans pipe, both the 1 and 3. And yeah, Jay, I don't think that's an uncommon opinion.
And I know not a lot of people got to taste the 4-gate. I haven't tasted it since the pick, but somebody very generous is sending me a sample to try. But I would be lying to you guys if I didn't tell you, or if I told you that I wasn't in Nashville Barrel Company after we selected this one, and I might have been yelling out that this was better than the 4-gate. But you're talking about two whiskeys that are just, it doesn't make sense because it doesn't say Buffalo Trace on the bottle. It doesn't have stag antlers, or it doesn't say William LaRue Weller on it. This is upper echelon, top tier whiskey, other than like the absolute cream of the crop type of stuff, what are
the junkies rating use? This is an S, the S tier.
This is S tier for sure. There's a couple of S pluses out there, but
we haven't. I think we may have talked about this maybe when we first started, about whatever we decide like our best barrel pick is, entering it into the Ascot Awards.
Oh yeah,
or the best single barrel pick of the year.
Wow.
I think it costs like $200-$300 or something.
Between the short barrel, this one, the Middle West.
You have to do it next year, though. I think entries are done at this point.
We could hold one back.
I mean, yeah, you can maybe talk to Fred about it, but that'd be awesome.
Well, it has to be from that current year.
Multiple bottles. Sorry.
Yeah, it's got to be multiple bottles.
Yeah, we need to plan ahead for that.
We can talk to him since he'll be at our year-end event.
Yeah,
he will be.
Well, the samples for this year go out in March, so we get them in March. So this year will be done. But if we did something with them next year, or I mean, you can still enter the single barrel in. It doesn't have to be like next year's single barrel. It can still be this pick. And you just hold it until next year.
Oh, can you do that? It doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be. Yeah, it doesn't have to be from the current year.
I don't think it has to be from the current year. No.
Interesting. Well, anyway,
Lance,
that's something that if a miracle shot we happen to win would bring eyes to the organization, and so I think that would be a good thing to invest in.
What would you guys want to enter? Out of everything we've done, what would you want to enter in there?
Like I said, between the short barrel, the NBC, the maker. Well, the maker is good, but I don't think so. The Middle West, I don't know. I mean, we'd have to do an actual bracketed group blind or something to narrow it down, because I don't know how you pick.
Yeah,
I volunteer as tribute for that bracketed group blind.
I'll tell you guys tonight when I taste them what my vote would be.
Yeah, and by the way, Lance, I can't wait. Erin and I, it's been a busy week. I'm gonna hang out with her for a little bit tonight. We haven't actually had a chance to see each other a lot this week, but I will be catching that rewatch. Everybody, make sure you head over to Lance's stream and watch that. And I can't wait to see what you come out with. I will say, I want to make a note, because we do a lot of blinds on our channel. Last place when you're talking about picks this good,
that's right.
that means it's just last place of a whole bunch of really good stuff. Like,
Right.
there's nothing wrong with that. So whatever Lance puts in first or last, it doesn't matter. It's
Yeah.
going to be a fun. It's going to be a fun watch.
Yeah, I got a couple
separating-
Barrels for Hope members coming on too to taste along. So that'll be
I
fun.
wish I could.
Yeah,
I wish I
You're
could.
separating Olympic runners by like 1/10 of a second in between.
That's right.
Point.
Yeah, it's like Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. It's and as much as I hate to say that as somebody who's not a Peyton Manning fan, but
Brett Favre.
I mean, yeah, throw him into. It's like who's the best. You can say Tom Brady's the best for sure, but there's a lot of other fantastic quarterbacks out there, and it's not taking anything away from them. So it's going to be fun, man. I can't wait to see what you come up with. I can't wait to. I won't be on there live, but just know that I will be holding you to a standard of impartiality and non-objective. Like, be as unbiased as possible. Don't try to figure out what they are.
I'm gonna do my best.
Because you can definitely taste these and tell which one's which.
I know.
Absolutely.
I know.
They're quite unique.
Yeah, it's gonna stand out, but I'm gonna just try to figure out which one I would want to drink every night above
And
the
listen,
others.
The move.
Lance is a professional. Okay,
Definitely not a professional.
he's
He
a
is.
professional. He will conduct himself as a professional.
But I do know how to pick a good Middle West barrel.
That's 100%.
Bill's just trying to
Where's
drive
the
Bill
thumbs
nuts.
down icon?
Yeah.
All right, guys, I gotta run. Good seeing everybody.
All right, love you
Got a
guys.
whole
Thanks
other
for
stream to
everything.
do. Thank you guys. Thank everybody in chat for being here. Thank you guys for the support. Head over to Lance's stream. I think it's starting in a matter of minutes. So, see you guys next month. Half of us probably from a hotel room in Lexington as we get ready to do the Dark Hearts pick.
You're hosting that in your room, right, Josh?
Yeah. Come on.
See ya.
Let's do it.
You guys.
Bye, guys.
Night all. Cheers.